People ask me a lot of times why it is that I challenge DUI drugs cases so regularly, and what is it that I find to be really defensible about those cases. Um, First, you have to know that in most DUI drugs cases, most of the time, when you're dealing with a drug of abuse, you're typically talking about marijuana. That means a non-prescribed drug. So in terms of the drugs of abuse that we're typically dealing with, usually it's marijuana. Now, cocaine, methamphetamines, a completely different animal. But whenever you're talking about marijuana in particular, you need to know that the vast majority of those cases, the defendant, if they're alleged to be under the influence of marijuana and marijuana only, does not appear to be impaired or affected by the drug whatsoever. Even if there is an active metabolite of marijuana in their body, they typically appear to be, on the videos, a normal, non-impaired person who is able to do and function like a normal, non-impaired person would. They usually appear to be, by all objective observers of the video, to be a person who is not under the influence. Second, those cases, the evidence in those cases is generally very, very unscientific. It is scientific evidence that's passed off to be as though it's science, but there is no real foundation for it. There's been no validation for a lot of those pieces of evidence. There's probably no better example than the test that they typically have people do in a DUI drugs case that involves tilting your head back, closing your eyes, and estimating the passage of 30 seconds. That's called the Romberg test, and that test does not meet the Harper Foundation in Georgia as it currently exists. So there is no validation for that test that law enforcement can point to. And that is really important for your lawyer to know, and it's also really important to challenge Romberg evidence, lack of convergence evidence. That's the test where they run their finger around in a circle and come closer to your eyes. Those types of field sobriety tests that they typically do in DUI drugs cases should be challenged on the basis that they do not meet the scientific standard for admissibility of evidence in Georgia. That's really important. But third, you need to know that in a DUI drugs case, the reason why I usually challenge it and the reason why you should really consider challenging your DUI drugs case is because the license suspension that occurs in a DUI drugs case is 180 days with no limited permit whatsoever. The downside for you challenging and fighting a DUI drug case is very minimal in light of the administrative or the license suspension that you're going to face in the case. So the 180-day suspension with no limited driving permit for most of my clients is a deal breaker. They've got to do everything that they possibly can to avoid that potential penalty. And so we usually end up defending and fighting a lot of those cases on that basis. Feel free to call me if you got questions about a DUI drugs case. My name is Ben Sessions. My phone number is 470-225-7710. Again, 470-225-7710. Thank you.